gotten some MVP buzz throughout this season, and just so you guys know, the Bills are 2.5-point home favorites in this one, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. So, Shannon, who wins, and what is the score for this matchup?
Skip, I'm really anxious to see this game because these are two guys from the 2018 draft. I believe they're both of these guys. I would take both of these guys over Baker. You like Baker. I like Josh Allen. I like Lamar. But when I look at the Ravens, Skip, what they've done over the last 6 games, it's been very impressive. You're talking about 250 yards rushing. Lamar Jackson's averaging 94 yards rushing in that 6-game win streak, 136 yards last week. He threw the ball really well. J.K. Dobbins, the second half of the season, averaging 6 yards a carry, which leads the NFL. Their offense is doing what it really does. They control the clock, they run the football, and they put points on the board in the process of doing that. So they limit, if you have a big play offense, they limit. And the thing that Lamar is going to have to guard against, the thing that he can't do, Skip, is go back to turning the football over. Because that's what got him in trouble in the playoff games that he's lost. You look at the playoff games that they lost, and you look at the playoff game that they won. He took better care of the football. He was exceptional running the football with his legs, and so they won the ball game. They're going to have their hands full defensively. The Ravens are going to have their hands full defensively. Because when you look at the Bills, Skip, Josh Allen can do it. He has the type of arm that can neutralize the elements.
Yep.
And Stephon Diggs and Davis, and they got Cole Beasley, they got Andre Roberts, they got Isaiah McKinney. They got weapons galore at his disposal. Dawson Knox at the tight end position. Now, the running game leaves a little bit to be desired. They lost Zach Moss. They brought Devin Singletary is going to take over. They signed Devontae Freeman to the practice squad. The Bills struggle at stopping the run. They haven't faced a team that can run it, that's committed to running the football like the Baltimore Ravens are. And I look at the weather forecast, 35 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour wind, possible snow. Skip, I'm going with the upset. I'm going to take the Ravens in a close ball game. I'm going to say Tuck wins it in the end. I'm going to say they win 31-28.
Is that really an upset? That didn't sound like you described an upset to me.
But Skip, when you look at the AFC, these are the two best teams. They're playing the best down the stretch of anybody. They might be the hottest, 2 of the 3 hottest teams along with Green Bay, if you want to throw Tampa in there. So 2 of the 4 hottest teams down the stretch that we've seen.
So Buffalo at home is a 2.5-point favorite, says Fox Bet.
Yep.
I said to you before the season started, as we made our season predictions, I said, if I had any guts, I would pick the Bills to win the AFC. But I didn't have any guts, so I fell back on Baltimore.
Right.
So now I've got my pick versus my no-guts pick against each other at Buffalo. And they are, you could argue, the hottest team left. The Ravens, after being COVID-racked mid-season, they finally came out of that, and Lamar started to click, and they did too. And they have a devastating running game. It's the best in pro football. You can argue it's the best we've seen in pro football since the middle 1970s when the Steelers had 43 straight 100-yard rushing games. They're up to, the Ravens are, to 39. Well, you remember those the Steelers teams.
Franco Harris, Rocky Bleier.
Whew. Yeah, Terry Bradshaw, obviously, but they could just run it down your throat with probably the best offensive line in football.
Correct.
So I think it's going to be a snow game. It's not going to be that cold. It's going to be hovering around 32 degrees freezing, but I think it's going to snow shower, so it could be a little slippery footing. I think it's just as much advantage to the Baltimore runners, including Lamar, to be able to slip and slide knowing where they're going instead of the defense knowing where they're coming from. So I don't think that'll bother them at all. So it comes down to an interview that your man Wink Martindale gave, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. Love him. He's done a fabulous job there. And he was talking about Josh Allen. He made a very good point. He said, usually when you evaluate a quarterback and he's not accurate, it's hard for him to shed that tag. Well, what was the big knock on Josh Allen? He's just not accurate. What happened a year ago in December when Lamar and company played at Buffalo? What did Josh Allen do in that game, which they ended up losing fairly close? It was 24-17. Josh Allen was horrendous in that game. He completed 43% of his passes, 17 of 39. He was sacked 6 times in that game. He had a QBR of 17. Lamar wasn't all that much better, but Lamar threw three touchdown passes. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the game. And yet, Wink Martindale says, you know, what he's done this past offseason and this year is just amazing because he has accuracy on the move and accuracy in the pocket that I didn't see it for the longest.
Yeah, right? I think someone said, I was reading a stat that says he has the highest completion percentage rise from his first year to his third year, Skip, of anybody. It's like 16, 17 points.
Right.
Which is unheard of.
Unheard of. And Martindale compared him to, you better try to tackle him the way we tackled Derrick Henry because he's that big and strong.
I don't think people realize how big he is, Skip.
Yep.
He's a huge man.
6'5", 240.
Yeah, easy.
Right.
Well, that's 245 coming to offseason after working out. Being in Buffalo where it's been cold, he probably 250, 255 right now.
He might be. He well might be. And he compared him to a young Roethlisberger. In the pocket, you just, it's hard to drag him down.
Yes.
And yet, I think he's more athletic and much more mobile.
Oh, yeah, way more than
Roethlisberger. Because he's run for a bunch of, what is he, up to 5 touchdowns this year? I mean, we haven't seen anything like this yards passing. No one's ever done this before. This many yards passes, this many touchdown passes, and 5 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
It's unheard of combination, right? Because he is a passer who can also, he's a pure passer. We wouldn't call Lamar a pure passer.
No.
He's more than adequate.
Right.
He's a dart thrower.
Right.
But the point is, here's Josh Allen sort of coming of age, and now he's got a home game to right the wrong because he stunk against these guys last time.
Right.
So what does he do the best this year? He threw 19 touchdown passes against pressure. 19 against pressure? So if you come after him, he's liable to just torch you, okay? And what does Wink Martindale say? I'm sorry, all we do is pressure.
Yeah.
We blitz. He says that's who we are and that's who we have been. Well, you know that from your time. What's been the MO of that defense?
And that's why you, Skip, but that's why you go get 3 first-round draft picks at corner. You have Jimmy Smith, you have Marlon Humphrey, you have Marcus Peters. Why you do that? So you can put pressure. Guys, y'all got to hold up. Now, Stephon Diggs, I think the biggest, and I don't know the Bills' general manager, Skip, but I think they've done a great job. Not a good job, a great job. Look, we're going to build around the quarterback. So what does the quarterback need? He needs receivers. Now, we're not just one. So we go get him Stephon Diggs.
It was huge. It changed his life.
That's it. Because the guy led the league in reception and receiving yards. He's first-team All-Pro. And so that was the biggest difference. But the other guys, Cole Beasley, Skip, Cole Beasley's been spectacular. You can make
a gimpy knee, but he's been spectacular.
You can make a case he's been the second-best slot receiver. Now, they list Tyreek as a slot receiver also. But Cole Beasley's been spectacular. They got Isaiah McKenzie. They got Andre Roberts. They got speed. John Brown. They got speed on top of speed.
They do. Okay. I give you all the above. And by the way, Marcus Peters has some back. He intercepted the final pass, you know, like he closed the deal. Maybe he hurt his back dancing on the logo, you know, gloating on the logo, rubbing it in. But the point is, in the end, I just think Baltimore is better. Baltimore's not hotter. I just think they're the better, more physical football team. I think they will bring heat in the cold on Josh Allen. I think they will control the ball by running it. And I think Lamar he is figuring it out. And I don't believe he'll turn up. He had one that first throw that Malcolm Butler got was horrendously bad. I don't think you'll see that this time. Again, I should probably make it a bigger spread in the score than I am. I'm going 24-20 just because I think it won't be that easy to score a bunch of points. But I'm more confident about this pick than any other pick that I've made. So I have now officially picked all 4 road underdogs.
I don't even feel comfortable about my pick either.